it was almost like I went to Dubai out of desperation. But I say that because you see the pictures of me in
Mhm.
Dubai. You're like, oh, Flo was killing it.
Yeah.
But I landed without pay, right? I got paid after. So it was like I was risking being even more in debt with the
Yeah.
Sam Memphis to get some kind of a cash to cover this dream of mine because I believed in what I was doing with that.
Anybody there?
What's up, Dad Hat Crew, and welcome to another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles podcast. And this week, we finish my interview with FloBo Bice. Listen, on this episode, we talk about his time in Dubai, Grid League, and then also as content creators, sometimes we think that's like everything just happens overnight, right? But we don't see the struggles that a lot of us go through. Like, we run out of money, or it just doesn't work out, or some of the content that we're putting doesn't get noticed. All of that, right? The struggles that we go through. So we talk a little bit about that as well. And then finally, we ended with my famous, not so famous questions. So I wanted to make sure that you guys had a good episode. I'm really proud of this one. You guys are going to enjoy it. So, guys, without further ado, I'll give you the episode. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's something I have to get better at. Like I'm an outgoing person. That's who I am, right?
Mhm.
But I'm very outgoing in my own environment here, right? Something that I have to learn, get better at is when I'm out there. That's something that, like you said, it's like you start recording, right? You grab your phone and all that, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, uh,
Yeah,
and
you
you put the
with
phone
your
down.
lady or your friends, like, all right, Hollywood. You know what I mean? You're like, no, I'm just doing this for the gram.
Yeah, like, man, I'm just listen. Look at my my YouTube channel. That's what it is. So,
Mhm.
and it's funny because I've had so many takes making like my daily videos, which are less than 2 minutes, but there's so many takes that people just don't see. It's insanity.
My first podcast, and in the modern era, because I used to podcast when I was a kid, it was literally me and my phone in my car because the car is nice and safe. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's
So I'm
your
like,
safe
yeah,
environment.
yeah, best sound acoustics, and I was like, hey, I'm doing a podcast or whatever. But then I think with the reps and just being comfortable with your voices, you be more comfortable doing it. But
Mhm.
I don't forget those days at all. Like I go traveling, and people are like, oh, where's your travel videos? You're like, here's something, but I
Yeah.
get so weird to be considered rude.
Yeah, it's funny though. Like I love that, and I see that. And the one thing that we interacted with was the one that you took a picture of you, like you said you were in London with your peacoat and your
Oh yeah.
coffee and all that.
Yeah.
That if there's anything that was too funny to me, I was dying. Right? It was like, man, you're in LA, man, and you're like, actually,
I was in London.
disclosure, and I'm like, bro, that is hilarious.
I just rolled in there like I'm gonna be as alien as I possibly can. Manchester City scarf and the little cabby driver hat. It was great.
That was great. I mean, I give you kudos for that because I was like, you know what? You're like you're making fun of yourself, but at the same time, you're making great content, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, man, we're all here for fun. It's a game. It's a game, and even the comedy game, because if anyone's watched that Cat Williams interview, sometimes you know how serious you can get because it's craft person against craft person. But at the end of the day, we gotta be funny, gotta be able to laugh, gotta have a good time because what are we doing this for?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, and I think I saw it, and before we go back into our baseball talk, but I did see something that did you do some videos on CrossFit?
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So you talk about having dumb money. This wasn't dumb. This wasn't dumb. But sometimes you ask ourselves what we do. We had $1 billion. Well, there's a league now it's called United Grid League. It's called Florida Grid League.
Yeah, I saw
And
that. Yeah.
it's like the team-based exercises that
Hmm.
people compete around the line. Now, I used to live in Florida. Went to college the first time in Florida, went to Flagler College. Actually wearing the sweatshirt. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yep. Let's go.
So I get targeted ads for them, and they are looking for sponsors for the team. I was like, what does the sponsor do? Well, if you pay them a couple $100, they'll have a couple of the athletes say, hey, shout out to my sponsors. And I was like, yo, how much for like a team logo? It's like this much. I'm like, I got Spotify money. Whack. So my podcast sponsored for the Good League team, and they ran the table. undefeated, first time rookie champ. Like my logo was seen over like 20,000 times, man. It was just
That's
done.
awesome.
So that was kind of like one of those like stupid moments, but kind of like snowballed into it. So I flew out there. I felt like I was like Steve Ballmer or like Mark Cuban in the crowd, like, team, get it together. Like last year was silly, dude.
That's awesome. I was like, hold
Shout
on
out
a
to
second.
Atlanta Oasis, by the way.
Yeah, I'm literally seeing them right there on the website, Orlando Aces. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. That's what don't give me money, Spotify. You messed up.
You don't messed up.
You messed up.
You gave me some Spotify money. Here we go. What to spend it here? That's amazing. The Orlando, I see them right there. There's like what 8 teams right there on the
Yep.
league.
Current
That's
champs.
okay. All right. Good. Good for you. All right. Now that I got that question out of the way, because I was watching, I saw your Instagram. I'm like, hold on a second. I know grid. I know
Oh, you
grid.
do? Okay.
Oh yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, dude. When I started doing CrossFit a long time ago, and then you saw the CrossFit games and all that, and then he used to work for CrossFit, the guy who started the original grid.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like every team I saw them, like there were these CrossFitters, these like massive, athletes, and you're like, man, I know these people, and they're doing their wall balls and all this other stuff, and I'm like, hold on a second, I thought grid kind of like disappeared for a while.
Yeah, it actually did. So apparently this was like the last league, and that became so good, then they actually changed the name to United Grid League. But like Florida Grid League was like the last remembrance of it, and then they kind of wants to rebuild it. They're going to Vegas next year. It's a whole big thing. It's nuts.
I love it, love it.
Imagine watching that eating a hot dog. Okay, go ahead. You're saying?
Oh, hey, listen, I don't care eating a hot dog. That's they can't eat the hot dog, but I'm going to, because they're doing that, and they'll throw up, as doing
Right.
burpees and all that fun stuff. All right, so let's go back to baseball now that we got the grade. And I do apologize, guys. I had to.
Yeah.
Just how that goes. But as far as the baseball United, right? So talk to me a little bit more about that, because you had an opportunity to travel some cool places. And I'm not jealous at all. Don't
No, don't be.
no, no, not
I'll
at
tell
all.
you the story and you won't be. So it's
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's hear it.
So it was Cash Shake, which I knew from before because I watched Shark Tank. And
Yep.
Cash Shake is usually on like the worst of Shark Tank. He's the guy and that's also on YouTube. Like he had this idea for a brand, and the Sharks hated it, and he got like ripped to shreds online, right? Or on national television.
Yeah.
Years later, had this idea for a baseball league out in the Middle East. This is like back in February, which is good for us. I called it early. And I said, when I got to connect with Cheats in April, I said, oh, by the way, man, just put it in your ear. If you ever get a chance to talk to Cash Shake, can I be in the room? Because if you notice on the Black Baseball Mixtape podcast, it's just Cheats. He just does the main podcast line. I do more like the Instagram content. So we got a chance to talk with Cash in November. And it was a fantastic interview. Baseball United wants to bring the bat and ball sport to that region. They're more of a cricket thing. They have teams in India and Pakistan, and Cash is like half Pakistani and half Indian, half he's American, but half Pakistan, half Indian, and also you got Emirates. Hey, look, you guys are so good. Your perspective is so unique. Would you like to fly out to cover the East-West United game? We'll even give you a bit of a stipend out there as media, as a part of a press corps, to make sure you go up there and you can make it happen. And Cheats, to his credit, was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to the Bahamas in December, the Jazz Chisholm thing. Don't blink. I was going to Don't Blink. I can't make it. And it's Thanksgiving Day. I got a wife and kid. You can't just like do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I don't got a family. I'll go. Because frankly, I talked about dumb Spotify money. I was broke. I didn't have rent together. So imagine this, like you are following your dreams all year, traveling the country and doing commercials and sponsoring teams because you got let go of your job. And now the money's gone. Like there is nothing there. Can't ask your parents everything. Credit cards are all maxed. You're like, do I get a real job? Do I like deliver groceries? Like, what do I even do? I've been in media 15 years. And so Cash was like, here's an opportunity. Cheats like, I can't go, but do you want to? It was almost like I went to Dubai out of desperation. And I say that because you see the pictures of me in Dubai. You're like, oh, Flo was killing it. But I landed without pay, right? I got paid after. So it was like I was risking being even more in debt with the
Yeah.
Sam Memphis to get some kind of a cash to cover this dream of mine because I believed in what I was doing with that. Now, I know that sounds like a cool story in the end because everything works out. I'm still living and breathing. I got bills I got to pay. It's all good. But I got in that plane to Dubai afraid. Not of Dubai. Dubai was
Mm.
great.
Yeah.
but landing there and be like, oh man, this is great, man. Net 45. Then be
Yeah.
like, net 45. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For
So this
real.
is why I love doing what I do, man. Because would you take that risk for your brand? If your day job said, "Hey, I need to come in on Saturday. We'll pay you in 2 weeks," we do it. Why not for ourselves?
Hmm. Interesting. That's wild that you just got on a plane. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if it is going to work out. I don't know if I'm going to get paid, but here I go.
There I go. And that was Thanksgiving Day in Dubai. Had curry turkey. It was great. I love covering the team. I got to see Bartolo Colon. I had his home run card. Met some great content core people out there. It was a fantastic time. It was good for professional development as well as showing Baseball United that Black Baseball Mixtape is serious about covering the game from my
Hmm.
perspective. So it all worked out on all different levels, but getting that plane was just nerve wracking.
So about Baseball United,
Yeah.
so you saw it, right? You experienced it.
Mhm.
Give me your thoughts on this, right? Because obviously this is still new. It's a brand new product, for over there. It's a brand new market. It's going to take some time for it to develop,
Right.
right? I think, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion from what I see. It's like I think they went a little too high too quick, and then they have to scale it back, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But give me your thoughts on this whole league.
So I think that's a fair assessment because I guess I'm privy to some more information of
Yeah.
what was happening there because I felt like they had plans and the plans got changed very late. So there
Mm,
really seemed to be a bigger, I guess, hangar than what the plane could fit into. There's too much space. So I was under the impression, I think that what they wanted to do is, to your credit about like cricket and fans coming in day out, was to train a new region to appreciate another bat and ball sport. They locked arms with the cricket board because the cricket board pretty much runs all sport in
mhm.
United Arab Emirates, and the idea was have a fan fest to basically train the audience that, hey, look, don't go and leave. It's gonna be a quick thing. Come get some food, drink some beer because you can actually drink beer at the game, but then see the game and get out of here. But to me, there were some things that I felt like they couldn't do. They couldn't sell merchandise. All they had were to give away T-shirts, for example. So you didn't get a chance to like support the team you wanted to.
Hmm.
There was different kind of layouts and things, and the fans that end up going weren't so much cricket fans looking to try something new. Rather, from my experience, it was expats who want a slice of home. It was people from Saudi Arabia who flew in,
Mm,
people from Abu Dhabi who drove in, like, oh my gosh, this thing from Boston is going to be in Dubai. Let me go see it, which isn't a bad thing because you start something new, you need a core demographic, a core fan base
yeah.
to grow it. But I think that was kind of a miscalculation of how many people already into the concept of baseball were going to show up. Now, with that said, given the logistical challenges they had, cricket grounds are round and the lighting's different because cricket has no shadow. And
Yeah.
so like pitchers hated it. I think they did a fantastic job. The club they had with the extra food and drink was great because both nights were 95 degrees in
Ooh.
November because it was the winter time.
Yeah.
They did a tremendous job. But yeah, watching the playback of the video, I will go, man, a lot of the stuff doesn't come through. It does seem empty. It does seem kind of like weird. It does seem interesting. The rules were announced to us the day before, so we didn't cover it the way we would have the money ball and things like that. So hey, you know what? Like any experiment, doesn't matter if it's a YouTube video or a baseball league, you can only practice in theory so much, and then you have to
Until it
run
comes
tests.
step. Yeah.
Yeah, then you got to run tests, and so that's what happens.
So as far as now, because now they're down to four teams. This is what they have. They have the Cobras, the Monarchs, the Wolves, and the Falcons right
Go
now.
Falcons.
Yep. So, and did I hear this correct? They are not allowed to sell any kind of merchandise at the ballpark.
At that event, there were no
Okay.
merchandise to be sold. So I'm not sure if when the season starts, they're going to have anything different or whatever. But like people would say, how come there wasn't like a baseball to buy or bats or anything like that? All they
Mm-hmm.
had was one stand that was like giving away like Baseball United as a brand stuff.
Gotcha. Not the teams themselves.
Right. And I feel like that to me was so out of place. It almost feels like someone had to tell them you couldn't do that. Like,
Mm,
why would you go through that trouble of giving away stuff if you can sell stuff?
yeah.
you know?
Interesting. I like that. And so, but they are still playing. They are still planning on having a full season and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
When does it actually start?
There are no dates hard firm, but it looks like it's going to be a winter sport based on the weather in that region. So I would assume basically this time next year, November, December. I think the league is set to have 60 games. So
Mhm.
whether or not that's going to be on a MLB pace of being 2 months or a 3 month or 4 month pace with less games per week with the travel being required, I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
for all that travel and all that. Interesting. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that because I mean, you got Robinson Cano, you got Bartolo Colon. I mean, you got some, is that Didi Gregorius as well in
Oh
there?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I even shout out to Courtney Hawkins, man. He was like the best guy out there. The content core, and there was 9 of us out there, and covering the game. Courtney put us under his wing, bought us
Yeah.
drinks at the bar. Friend for life,
There
friend
you
for
go.
life.
But and I mean, Pablo Sandoval, like I mean, there's some names that that like you're like, all right, I know these guys. Like, I mean, I know these players. Like these are ex MLB players. They're playing there now. David Huff, Jair Jurgens. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the gimmick or the intent, I assume, is kind of like how MLS is in the United States when they first started, having a lot of
Hmm.
older top flight players with their promise of building up the game for the young American core. And so you'll see on the Baseball United rosters, there's like prospects from Pakistan, India, Uganda,
Hmm.
Japan. So the idea was kind of like, okay, we know Japanese baseball is pretty much the number 2 league on the planet, give or take. But
Yeah.
why not have a fight for 3 or a fight for 4 over time?
Interesting. I like that. That's amazing. Like, I mean, you have a mix group of people from like you said, not just the US, but like, Japan and the Caribbean, right? Because the Caribbean is really, baseball is one of the sports that's like heavily dominated there, right? And I think I love what you say about the MLS roadmap, right? Because like you're right. Like, when they first started, it was those old players that are, they're on the way out. They're like, hey, you want to come to the MLS? We're growing something here. And, you get to play still. You still get to
Right,
play.
right. You still get to play. Yeah. And I don't think Messi would have gone to the MLS in 95. Like if he was the same experience, it just
Um,
wouldn't happen.
Messi would have laughed at us. We're like, what are you got? What? No, get out of here.
Absolutely. I'm a supporter of the LA Galaxy, and the first game this season is against Inter Miami. And tickets in my section go for 2 grand.
Yeah.
2 grand.
So I'll be watching from afar because I can't
Is that
afford
life?
that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of monies. You know what I mean? Wow, that's insanity.
No hot dogs.
So yeah, no, you're breathing air. That's it. That's all you get, and you get some water out of a water fountain. Um, so as far as your brand and what you guys are doing and Black Baseball Mixtape and all that, what's in the works for you guys? Like, I mean, because I know you guys are this baseball's about to start. We're about to hit it hard. What are you guys
Yeah.
planning?
So definitely the Don't Blink Muhammad Shoki was a really another watershed moment for us. And Cheats got to chat with the Players Alliance and they actually did a special feature with them. So if you go to the Players Alliance YouTube page, there's like a discussion video that got released a lot last month. Cheats is actually the podcast of record on that group. So once you get it with the Players Alliance, as far as Black baseball is concerned, it's pretty great. A
Mhm.
lot of opportunities this year. The Juneteenth game in the South, the East West game in Cooperstown, that's kind of like the big thing is All-Star game in Globe Life. A lot of our followers in the Discord are from the mid-Atlantic Tidewater region. So we
Mhm.
may do a meetup or so over there. And me personally, I just posted this week on my own personal Instagram, kind of full circle moment. My undergrad, my communication professors did a documentary about baseball scouts. And as I record this on Thursday, the 18th of January, they're having a showcase Cooperstown. So I'm flying out there this week because I'm going to be like the host of it all. Like, hey guys, welcome. What's going on? Now it's time for this baseball scout. Jerry Blevins is in the voiceover booth. He's narrating the documentary too. So they hit me up because I was a graduate, but then I was like, I do baseball. You're doing a baseball thing. Let's connect. You know what I mean? So the brand's going and thriving. And of course, more ballparks, man. We're
Of
gonna get
course.
that.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So, are you going to hit some minor league ballparks? Is the question.
So yeah, short answer is yes. But I feel like before I venture out, I have to go to the local ones here. Last year I went to the Quakes, Rancho Quakes. I have to go to the Inland Empire
The
66ers.
66ers, yeah.
Now, here's something that's ironic. Back when it was a team up in Palmdale, it's called the Jethawks. I went there to do comedy on the field. So I haven't ever saw a game up there, but that team has moved on. So it's like, oh man, it's like a missed opportunity there. You know what I mean? But I want to be able to go there. I want to go see the Modesta, the other nuts, the
The
other nut
nuts, yeah.
team as well. And of course, it's kind of a deep cut, but one of the best baseball games ever made was MVP Baseball 2005. And
Wow.
we have you're gonna love this because you're a Miley guy. We have a situation we call the biscuit incident, where my guy Brian thought he was the best player in the game and he picked the Yankees, and I beat him with the Montgomery Biscuits. So I always wanted to go see the Montgomery Biscuits play just to rub it in his face one more time. So that's on my
And just
list.
picture and everything, get a hat there and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I love it. Yeah, Montgomery. I mean, great brand, by the way. Like, that's one of the
absolutely.
coolest brands out there. If anybody, obviously, we're recording this on National Hat Day, right? So, like, anybody should we get a hat,
Mhm.
no matter what, because this is amazing. And by the way, I'm on the Players Alliance website right now, just so you know,
Yeah,
and there's your boy Sheets right there.
fantastic. This podcast isn't even 2 years old. It's barely 2 years old. That's just nuts, man.
That's awesome, right? I mean,
It is.
I love when I love seeing that. I love seeing people succeed in something that they love. That's it. I don't know what it is. It's like, obviously you can, there's some podcasts are not going to last or some they will, but like when you see something, when you see it, like, man, he did it. I'm
Yeah.
going to do this. I got to keep going because I know that I can make it as well.
I got to give all the credit to Cheat still, because I think there would have been for a lot of people tendency to be like, "Oh, now that I made it, it's my podcast." You know what I
Right.
mean? And of course, yes, the Black Baseball Mixtape was part of the Cheats movement on paper, but
Yeah.
as far as like coming up with ideas and try to like to divide and conquer what we want to do and encourage me to write or encourage me to do these other Instagram things, like he's been more than helpful for me in a time in my career where I wanted that outlet. So props to him, man. All the most success in the world. I consider myself a contributor. I consider myself a custodian, but like sometimes it's kind of like a partner level too, as well.
Yeah, you should get a t-shirt that says, contributor, Black Baseball Magic, mixtape
I help.
contributor. Yeah, I did. I help. Okay.
It's like when your kids say, "Yo, ma, I heard you need some money," and you give $2. You're like, "Look,
I gave you something. You
I
needed
give
some
you some.
money.
I help."
Yeah. I love that. Love that. I gotta have Sheets on. I'm gonna get a hold of him so we can have him on as well, and then
Got to.
continue this conversation about Black Baseball Mixtape because I think that's awesome, and it's a great movement. Obviously, talk about great baseball players that are so I love that. I love that a lot, man. I think that's amazing. So all right, so in every episode that I do, right, every interview that I do, what I do is I do what is called my famous not so famous questions, random questions. Okay, nobody knows what the guest does not know what I'm going to ask. Okay, but there is one question that I ask everybody. All
Uh-huh.
right, so you go to the ballpark, okay, and you're there. I want to know what is your food and your drink of choice.
So that has changed because I was team cheeseburger for a long time, but then,
Okay,
but the thing is, you travel
you've
and
come to the dark side. I love it. Come on.
I actually still like cheeseburger, but you know what it is? It's hard. It gets to a point you see so many parks, not to brag. You want to have a semblance of quality when you're paying $15-$20. Like
Oh, for real, dude.
some parks do right, some parks don't. That's just
Yeah.
the way it is. So
Mm-hmm.
the answer to that question is my go-to is pretzel and beer. That's my
Mm-hmm.
go-to. And if it is dog night or if it's like a value menu, like in Arizona, I'll get a hot dog. But if I'm just trying to show out, if I wanna get the full experience, it's usually one gourmet restaurant, not gourmet, but like one like
Yeah,
top of
yeah,
the
yeah,
line.
yeah.
Like in Seattle, there's Din Tai Fung, which is a chain, but like what Din Tai Fung doing inside of a ballpark? I gotta check that out as well. So, and when I was in Denver, they had Rocky Mountain oysters or bull
I
testicles
saw your
sliced.
video.
I was
Saw
like,
your
"What?
video.
What's this?" I gotta try it. You know what I mean? But
So did you know what it was before you tried it? Did they tell you what it was?
someone had told me that like years ago, like you know what it is, right? But I didn't think I thought they were trying like to scare you. But no, it legitimately is
Yeah,
some
it is.
slices. I had no idea. It was chewy. So yeah, pretzel and beer, that's universal. Ball like high school gyms have those pretzels, so you're fine.
Yeah.
But then yeah, hot dog and then whatever the fancy restaurant is.
And then local beer or like like a national chain beer. What's your choice?
I try to be as regional as I can. Like Milwaukee has like Spotted Cow, but if you go to like some of the ballparks, they don't, or they have what they call like the fake ones where it sounds local, but it's owned. But like
By
here in
a
Dodger Stadium is Golden Road, but Golden Road is Anheuser Busch. You're like,
Yeah.
well, is that local or whatever, but
Is
usually
it,
a lager or red.
is a mango cart part of Golden Road?
Yeah, mango cart on the
Bro,
road.
I'm sorry, man, but mango cart is delicious.
It is. No, I'm not knocking it, but I'm not going
But
to
I
do a
get it. I
full.
get it because his ends the air Bush. But like the cool thing about minor league baseball now, though, is a lot of minor league teams are working with a lot of microbreweries to
Mhm.
create their own, brew
Yeah,
for the ballpark, which I think it is an amazing thing. Baseball and beer. I mean, come on now.
right. No, when the Brooklyn Cyclones, well, I'm not sure this counts, but Brooklyn Cyclones, their beer is Coney Island Brewery because it's at Coney Island.
Yeah,
Even though Coney Island's owned by like Sam Adams. Sam Adams is still small enough to be like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But
I'll dig
lagers,
it.
reds, pilsners at a game.
There you go. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. All right. So here's my question: see a soccer game or a rugby match?
both. Galaxy are my team. I'm actually going to Vegas on March 2nd because Australian Rugby NRL is going to have their American showcase this year.
Shut up. They're
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. My team, the Roosters, will be playing there, so I'm going out there to check them out.
All right. Okay. Play Monopoly or Scrabble?
Monopoly Junior.
Monopoly Junior?
Yeah, the one that's based at an amusement park where the boardwalk is like the actual boardwalk.
Okay.
And there's a roller coaster ride, a Ferris wheel. That's like my joint.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So you're walking down the street, right? You're walking down the street and you find 10 G's. What is the first thing that you do?
Look and see who's looking at me. Am I alone?
Yeah.
Are there
Hey, this is
strings?
for you, baby. Like what's the first thing that you buy? You know what I mean?
He's everything I do. I was like, I'll make sure I'm not getting caught up.
I was like, hey, babe, is there a string to this? Am I gonna get shocked or something? But what's the
from
first
Brooklyn? When I
thing?
say you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah, right. Hey, right. What's the first thing that you do? What's the first thing that you buy with that money? It's yours now. It's good.
So, of course, Bill's not really a cool answer, but I want to do that hotel suite at Rogers, the one that overlooks that. It's like on game day, depending on the opponent, it's like $800 for that room to open the game, 200 in the off season. That'd be kind of cool to do that. That's be the first like immediate thing that came to my head for sure. And
Pretty
fly
cool.
business class there. I'm not going to take the steerage. I have
Yeah, all right.
$10,000 now.
Like, listen, we're about to pay for this. No, Frontier, I ain't coming. I ain't doing Frontier.
Exactly.
This is Delta. I like that. All right. I like that a lot. All right. Have you ever do you watch a lot of Disney movies?
I have the classic
Okay.
Disney ones. Yeah.
All right. So, in your opinion, which of the Disney princess, right?
Jasmine.
You haven't even told me.
She didn't go.
Which one will make the best spy?
Spy?
Yeah. See,
what am I trying to infiltrate?
it doesn't matter. They are a spy. See, you said Jasmine right off the bat.
I'm gonna say Jasmine, and here's why: because she already started off the movie rich.
For
Everybody
real,
else married into wealth. She already had the money.
She was like, I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm the new Batman.
Yeah, and she picked a brown brother at the end of it. Jasmine, all day.
All day. Here we go. Jasmine got mad kudos from everybody. All right. Out of all of the animals in the U.S. or the world, okay, which one would be the biggest party animal?
Oh, tortugas, man. Like shout out to Daytona. Leatherback turtles, man. They're in the water chilling, always by a beach bar. Like they're just having time in their life. They don't pay
Nothing
rent.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're just chilling. I'm like, we're this is easy life for us.
Come ashore, drop some eggs, go back to the water. Like it's nothing. Come on, man.
Bye.
That's okay.
I love that. All right. And then the number two question, and this is where I leave you with, my friend, is out of all the animals again, which one is the biggest, do you think is the biggest a-hole?
Sheep. Black belly sheep. My parents are from the West Indies. I Google this. Black belly sheep are the most they're annoying. They cry in the middle of the night. They don't want to be moved. They poop everywhere. I once you see one, you're like, I can't. Oh my God.
That's hilarious. You're like, there was no hesitation whatsoever. Some people usually take a minute to think about it. You're like, no, black belly sheep. That's it. That's who they are. Forget it.
Yeah, they weren't raised right.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, dude. I had a blast doing this. Where can people find you on the socials, my friend?
Yeah, on the Instagram, I'm at Flobito. That's FLOBITO,
With the Spanish, I
Flobito.com.
like it.
Oh, you know what? That's a cool story. I'll tell you that after we get off the air why that is. But yes, Flobito on Instagram. Make sure to check out the Black Baseball Mixtape. New episodes every Monday. Mark Cheatham on the microphone in the community conversations with me and him on Sundays at Instagram as well.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, my friend. And then make sure you guys are following. I'm going to put everything on the show notes so that way you guys can go and make it easy as well. Until then, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that fun stuff so that way you guys are always in the know when a new episode drops. All right, guys. See you later.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Kelly Robinson, the Minor League Nerd. My YouTube channel explores the history of minor league baseball teams. More than just stats, we delve into team lineage, sharing stories from current franchises to obscure one-year wonders.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick
and Corey
of baseballmapper.com. And we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball. So get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series. And in every episode, I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.